Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to work on a more permanent coal solution. We could wait till the next couple of tiers, but it'll just get crazier. And besides that, we have better alternatives in the next couple of tiers. I'm standing on my ugly coal plant that I set up off to the side. I set it up off to the side so I can do what I'm about to do for you. Now, a couple episodes ago, I was commenting on how my fuel plants were jittering back and forth, back and forth. And I suspected that there was an issue with the coal, or this coal line that I had set up. And I was right. After coming out here and examining it, I have severe sloshing. You see that yellow that just appeared? My character's right. That is the problem that I have, and it's caused by water pressure. I don't have the pipes filled like I recommended you do. Now the one behind me has gone offline. And what that looks like is you can go up to any pole and you'll see these dips. That's when that one went off. That's when the other one went off. Now what's causing that? It's called sloshing. I don't have the proper pressure. You'll see, once again, we talked about these lines here. See how far apart they are. That means there's a lot of water inside this pipe. Hence it's full. But because that's a junction off of this pipe and that's a junction off, it's just like poking holes inside of a water hose. The front ones are going to get a majority of the pressure, and these will get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker as it comes down to this side. You'll see this pipe barely has any water in it. And that's the issue that you're going to have. Now, if you fill them all the way up, you won't have this issue. One way to do that is, just like we did over there, put in essentially a water tower, a raised section with a reservoir filled with water. Oh, you're not supposed to see that yet. So if we do this, I like horizontal to vertical. Sometimes it's better to do it that way, though. And if we sit back and let this fill, now one way to maximize this and to let it fill is to just go in and turn off all of these machines. So, see how it just drops? Of course, it dropped a lot because I killed all water to it, so none of them are getting water. They'll slowly start to fill back up. But what we're going to do is go through here, turn them off. Let the system totally fill up. You can also tell from afar because some of your smokestacks will stop smoking. Oh, power. Good. Got you all on standby, I hope. So now what we're going to have to do is wait for the machines to fill. Which is still going to go in the order we discussed. Strongest, closest to our source. And then once that fills, the pipes are going to fill, and then that movement of water is going to just stop. Once it's totally full, it's going to go still. And that's what you're waiting for, is this entire system to go still. And what's going to happen is it'll start more on this line here. See how it stopped? That pipe can't hold any more water, so the flow is going to continue down here and continue to each one of these all the way to the end, and then this main pipe will fill. Riveting stuff, I know. That'll slow to a stop, all the way back. Now This is going to need to fill. Now what this is going to do is give us pressure in the line, okay? The more you have this full, the better your pressure is going to be. If you don't do this and you just fill those pipes, it could work if you have sufficient pressure down there. You're not going to be able to underclock it like I've done over there. I only did the 3 and I underclocked each one of them to give exactly the amount of water that I need for the system. And if we go over here and look, because those are all set to 90, 90, 90, 90. I could control myself adequately like I've played this game before. Come on. See, it's full. Even though I have those underclocked to 90 per, which gives us 270, which is exactly what this needs. This line stays full at all times. Even if we go to the very last one, this has been running for hours and hours and hours. Still full. Pipe, still full here. It's just, it's not going to empty. It's only going down as much as it needs. Now later you'll have valves and you can manually say, okay, this pipe only gets 15 a minute, which reduces the puncturing of the water hose, so to speak, to where this side isn't just gushing out. And I know it seems like this would fill and that would solve it, but you have a pressure issue. That's the problem that you ultimately have, and it never seems to fix. So now this is full. So then the same thing should happen all the way back. See, that one's still moving back there and there. Get a little closer in case you don't have as big a monitor as I do. Oh, now you're going to stop by the time I get here. All right, those are still moving. There. But it's going to fill quick. There, right here, just as it stops. Okay, so everything should be full all the way. And this is a real common issue that people have at the beginning whenever they're first putting together their, I want to harvest that, their first coal plants. Coal plants, the fluid is very confusing. So now that everything is full, let's go ahead and hook everything back up. Let me get back up on top of here because it's easier to walk along this platform I made. Okay, well, if I could get up there. I did that earlier. How could I do that earlier and now you're not going to let me? Alright, fine. We'll just turn them all back on. Are you kidding me? That's 2, right? Yeah. 3. 4. And the 6th. So now we should have no more drops. Now that we've done that properly, you'll see this shuffle every once in a while, but that pressure inside of that elevated vessel, and it doesn't have to be high. I just want it higher than this main pipe, and I like the main pipe to be at least one step up. And you simply do that with these supports. When you left click once, you can lift it up, and I lift it up to its maximum. That complicated. See, this thing just stays at 400 the whole time. Now I could go and underclock those if I wanted to. It really doesn't matter though, because this is all going to be destroyed, because I have prepared for you some new exciting things. All right. So first, the math. I know. The dreaded math. Get a drink too. I purchased new billboards just for y'all. So we have 4 coal nodes. Okay. 4 coal nodes, C nodes. And we can pump them up to a maximum of 270 coal per minute. Now, we can actually go faster than that, but if you notice, Our transport on a Mark III belt, which is our current limitation, is 270. I can bump them up more than that, but 270 is where I'm going to stop. Now, if you multiply 270 times 4, because we have 4 coal nodes over there, we're going to get 1,080 coal per minute. If you divide that, because each coal factory needs 15, you'll get 72. That's where I get 72 coal power plants. And if you multiply 72 times 75, you'll get 5,400 megawatts. Yeah, we're going to be good for a little while. Actually, it's not going to be that long. So 72 coal a minute, 4 main lines, because remember I can't combine all 4 of those because then they would bottleneck at 270. Then we'd only have the one 270. So each one's got to come to this location by itself. Now I could have built it all over there if I wanted to and built the water to go that way, but I wanted to bring the coal this direction. So 72 coal per minute on 4 main lines is 18 coal plants per line. So we'll just keep them separated and then branch them off from there. And we already did kind of the math over there. Now the water. The pipes are going to be our bottleneck here, and they stop at 300 fluid per minute. Okay. Now each coal plant needs 45 fluid per minute. So our issue is going to be 45 times 2 is 90. We're not over 300 yet. 5, 225. We're not over 300. 6, 270. But if we go to 70 or 7, we just went over our 300 limit. Okay. So we're only going to be able to do it for 6 devices, 6 coal plants. Okay. Luckily, 18 can be cut into 6 easy by 3. Now, we are going to have 3 main water pipes. I'll show you. Don't worry. I just put these up here for reference. But in order to get to 270, just like the other 2 lines that I made over there, they make 120 a minute. We'll need at least 3. If we try and do 2, we won't get there. We could if we wanted to overclock them. You definitely could. I don't really like overclocking a lot. The main reason is there's no waste in this game, right? Unless you're like purposely destroying something. Instead, why don't I just build another one and save that power shard for somewhere I care about? And where do I care about power shards? I always care about power shards at a node, because I can't just make more coal nodes, right? So I fully support, in the way I play, and you can play it any way you want, I fully understand amping up something like coal or oil or even iron. Any of those nodes. But when it comes to just amping up a water pump, while you could technically do it and get more than 120 a minute out of it, I'd just rather build 3. Maybe if I had a space limitation, but I don't. Not in this case. So we're going to ignore those guys. I hope that helps give you an idea of what we're going to be doing today. So we will be doing a little bit of work. So a quick, easy way to see if you got the right amount is do not hit left click when you're doing this. Looking at this, I need a row of 18, correct? If I hold down Alt, as you see at the top, 18 of 50. That's how many I needed in this line. So basically what I did is I came here and I built down. I built all the way over and then zooped all the way across a long, long way. And then I went 1 from the end and started placing them down. These guys are hefty and they don't fit on a single that started on the line here. But he's a chunky boy. He went over on this side quite a bit, and that's just going to compound further and further and further down we go. Now, once I got all the way to the end, and I counted it 37,000 times, it felt like, I said, okay, and I zooped all the way down. And now I worried about my other 3 lines. That's 1 line of coal. We're going to have another, another, and another. Now what I wanted to do, if I spun this to face these guys, I gotta put power wires back here. So in this case, what I can do is just slap them on the seam and then go from pole generator to poles. And it gives me a nice little road that I can run down if I wanted to as well. I could also build a floor up at the top if I wanted to. And then mount everything on the ceiling if I wanted to as well. Then I really have a nice little road. In fact, I could actually squash this back if I wanted to. It's totally up to you on how you want to do this. Now, I know you probably see this weird little line coming up. You do not have to enclose these. You can leave this open to the world and not care. Yeah, that's going to bother me, isn't it? Or you can come up here and decide where you want your roof to be. Do you like it looking like this? That way there's just this long line coming out the top of your factory. Would you prefer slanted roofs? They have those. Would you prefer it a little higher up? Maybe. There's a lot of aesthetics that can go into it if you care. If you don't care, don't worry. Won't tell on anybody. Maybe. Alright, so you'll notice all these lights that I put around here, including the sunlight. I did that in an effort to try and make this visible. Right? So, the hard part about this is really going to be the decision you're going to make as far as water. Now, you could put the water pipes on the roof if you wanted to. But the problem is going to be our head lift. Is it going to be worth it to you and aesthetically pleasing? Or no? First off, we're going to need at least 1 pipe. I know we're going to need at least 1 pipe because this is definitely going to be higher than, what did they say it was? 10 feet. You go into production and go down to your water pipe. The very last line, all fluids, if I can not click on it, all fluids can be transported 10 meters upwards. This is probably going to be more than 10 meters upward. You can check that simply by saying that is a, that is 1 meter thick wall behind it. So that's 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there. That's 9 down. And of course we have to build it all at water height. It doesn't even reach there, does it? So that's going to be, we're definitely going to use a pump. Now pumps can do 20 meters up, which is great. We might do 2. We might need more. But if you want to go all the way to the roof with everything and then have everything come down, which is the way I recommend you doing your water, having everything come down, not just go up, you're going to have a little bit more of a problem with gravity trying to pull down. You're not going to have enough of your pressure. Remember we talked about pressure with that. Fluid buffer. Okay. So It depends on how you want this to look. If you care about it being up that high and 20 meters up, well, that's 10. You might get away with one pump there, but I doubt it. Especially because the fluid buffer pushes against the pump, or the pump pushes into the fluid buffer only so far. Now, personally, I don't like the way this looks too much. You could just have the pipe coming up the side of the building, just up walls. If that's what you prefer. Really up to you. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh. Okay. Are you done having a seizure? Okay. The lights turned on. Isn't that fun? Hey, over illumination. Let night become day. And I even turned those things down. Jeez Louisa. That was horrible to do in the middle of a jump. So you could do that as well if you wanted to. Because nothing says that this thing has to be super, super, super tall or anything like that, does it? Man, maybe I need to destroy. Oh my God, maybe I need to destroy some of these lights. Not that dark after all, but come on. Yeesh. Maybe I overdid it with the lights. So, you have choices to be made, right? Like I said, you could do that. But every time you add a pump, you're taking away 4 megawatts of power. That's not a lot, you know. Let's call it 10 per. We need 3 lines per the 4. And it's 8 megawatts each. I mean, if you're willing to get rid of 96 megawatts of power, go for it. You know, it's totally up to you. Now, you might say, well, why didn't you build this a little bit lower? Okay, let's discuss why I chose this height specifically to be at. I chose this height because I came down here and I threw down single water extractor. This is my guinea pig. And then I built the wall straight up. I looked at doing it this way at this height. And that clips him just a little at that height. I don't want that. So I want one more up. Of course, down is even worse, right? Oh, yeah, really? What's up, Mr. B? No lights under here, but it's still freaking out the game. So, that's still pretty bad. So that's why I chose the height I did. Now, when first playing the game, you know, if you want, you can try and shove these guys down with those and try and make everything level. That's what I've done in the past. As you see, this platform is above that pipe. What I ended up doing was just saying, no, instead, I'll put my coal power plant right here. And I don't need to worry about pumps at all. And while that is true, I just like the looks of this a little bit more. And maybe it is worth. There. Is that going to help you a little? I mean, the sun is, oh, the sun's already out. Never mind. So, decisions were made. I guess that's what I'm getting to. So let's do it. Let's do this the hard way. And then we'll go from there. So I'll choose to put everything up high. I think it'll look kind of cool if on the roof are these water extractors that just pump right back down. So we need to do every 6. Right? I'm sorry. Logistics. So we have the floor, hole in the floor. Now we're going to do 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we can do is put it here. And I just chose the seam for the ease, man. That's the main reason I chose the seam. Dude, the sun went down already? Alright. I don't know about all that, but okay. I chose the seam for 2 reasons. But you know what I might do? What would be easier from the outside looking in? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, I don't like it being close. Alright, we'll do it that way. Still do it that way. 9. Now, of course, I'm not going to use that. That's just for marking purposes. There. I don't exactly like the way that looks, but you know what? So, I want to need to get up there. It's always the funnest part of trying to get places. They look pretty. I really don't like it being off. Really don't. That really bothers me. But it bothered me so much. Or my own advice. Go back here to station fluid buffer. We're going to go ahead and make that an 8. Now we'll see if being here is too tight of a turn. Oh, it's not. All right. Not too bad. Down, drop down. Ignoring you. So, fun part is trying to get this to split. Now, the issue that you're probably going to have is trying to get it. Let me hit H and I can actually hold it in spot. And then, so that looks just hideous, right? And we're all about pretty here. Now what you can do is try and put one of these directly underneath it so it's center and center. But the problem is you can't, all you can do is spin it left to right. So that's no good either, right? So what you can do is pop it over a couple. Line it up with that boy. And you could also do this with just this as well. In fact, I think that'll look nicer. So what I like to do is go 1, 2 over, lift. Nice and pretty. run this line down here. Again, we're using this center line as a cheat. And it looks like he is on that line there. So we'll go back 1, 2. Come up. And put him down there. All right. Now the fun begins. Now we can use these. Now the key thing is this can't be even with that. Otherwise it'll be really awkward. Really got to eyeball it. Do you? And not too bad if I do say so myself. Now for these, I always just like to get on top of the pipe, spin it the direction. You'll notice there's those 2 lugs at the end. I try and get it right in the middle. I do all these at once. Oh, there's the flash. Thankfully, our feet not stop us from being in the middle here. Putting everything. Of course, that side's already done. Just like before. Made it ugly. Right? And now we just got to duplicate that a couple times. Now, this is the fun part. Remember that line we were on? This is why. I want to be on that line all the way down to there. All right. Looking good, looking good. And then we'll do the same thing down here. A little bit closer to this side. So now we can see where we're trying to aim our machination. So, a couple ways you could do this. Same thing, you could build this guy out. Go out that far. Now, with it being straight like that, you can do that. Nice, pretty, and straight. Once again, aiming on the center of these. Everything's nice and neat. And now we can put junction tube on. Now that that's done, you can delete the support, and it'll only delete that one little pipe up to this point. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. And now, I copy him. All right. You'll get some. Don't worry, I brought tons of material. You see this giant list to my right. It was my shopping list. I ran back and forth, back and forth, back and forth many times. And I also need rotors. I know you just thought, oh no, he doesn't have rotors. I was storing them up here too. All right. Okay. I don't know why I turned around earlier to him. So, this is going to be a little weird. You know what? Man, oh man, oh man. Nope, nope. Nope. We're not gonna squirrel. That's hard to see if it's straight, isn't it? Oh yeah. Nice jump. I don't want it too close just because the pipes.
Automation is the way.
Yes, yes. The pipes can bend weird sometimes. Look here, game. Work with me. All right. Now we could also, well, a little close. We could also move him back. Then we could enclose all of this into where we can't see it. Same with him. We can move him back. That's another option. I don't think we would have a problem with that. Gotta look upstairs real quick. Yeah. I don't think we'd have a problem with that. And I know this side will be a little different. I know you're probably thinking, well, you're cheating being on the outside over there, and you are correct. But instead what I can do is actually have a pipe go from, again, I need a floor. I left room in the middle on purpose. Sneaky like. What I can do is run over here from that side and put, of course this is going to be inaccurate as I'll get out, there, and just have a pipe running from downstairs straight through, have a pump right there in the middle, feeding up, and then have it come whoop right back down and do the same thing on this side. I mean, I think that'll give it a nice flow too, because that'll only be in the middle. I could do it on both sides too. I could move that over a little bit and have a pipe going up, water pumps underneath here to the left, underneath to the right, and there'd be 6 of these. Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of that. It does seem, that seems satisfying. All right. So once again, there to there, there to there. Now you'll notice this goes that way, but if I go from there to there, it's more of that. The long bit is at the bottom instead of the top. So it does matter which way you go on these if you're trying to make everything look pretty. No one saw that. So now power would be the only pain, but I could run power along the underside of this and just have it come down into these guys, and it's not really that big of a deal. So you get the idea on that, and then I can duplicate that further down. Now there is a blueprint maker that you can actually design all this stuff, and it is going to be exact every time. I never really utilized the blueprints. I don't know if it's because I just enjoy doing this or what. So I don't know. I don't know. While we're talking, might as well have you guys fill it up. So it's only going to go so high, right? So we'll see it start pumping there, there, and there. And now this is trying to force down that tube while that's trying to force down that tube. And there's a lot of craziness. Now, the 10, 10, and 10 don't go 10, 20, 30, and now it'll go up 30. It won't. This is not going to move. Okay? You can't rely on that. That'd be nice. Especially when you get better pipes later on in the game. So, where this stops is the real question. You know? You come up to it like this and hit E and see how high it goes. So it's halfway up this pipe. This pipe will be empty. So it goes about that high up. Notice it's not going to increase anymore. All right. So your water pipe. Now, you have to kind of eyeball where this is going. You scroll wheel on it, it's going to pump a useless direction. Agreed? But here, we're going to go a little bit low. Now, if I hit H and then look up, see that collar? That's as high up as it's going to go, and it's going to stop there. So that's 15 meters. Now, you might be tempted to say, well, let me lift that up a little bit, and then I'll at least get into that. But remember, if we do that, that's only going to fill so much in that cavity. It won't fill all the way to the tippy top. Right? We proved that last time. So I'm going to left click, and it's going to build. Now, when I'm on here with this guy, now it'll snap to that location, which is nice. Now, the first click sets him. The second click, you can adjust where he is. So I actually back like that. And we need to give this boy electricity. Power. Oh, I never did buy the Mark II nodes. No matter, no matter. That looked like poo anyways, the way it was clipping. And I'll probably redo this. This is just to get it working for now. I don't know if I'm going to make that jump. Oh, yeah, buddy. All right, so once again, it's only getting to this point. He has no power yet, right? So he needs electricity as well. Now that he's going, we climb up there. Look at him. He should start filling. Once again, we want him to get all the way up to 400. Now these should start filling too. And they are. Pressure increases. That'll increase even more as well. So now we just have to duplicate this 2 more times on this leg, and then 3 more there, 3 more there, and 3 more there. Yay! Water. Oh man, that pipe bent. Did that look bent to you? Looks bent to me. That is not horizontal to vertical. Oh my God, what in the world is going on? Okay. Mistakes weren't made. I don't care what you say. Still looks bent. Okay, we're just going to assume that that's straight. We'll edit that out. Yeah, right. I'm not editing. Joke. So this emptied. Why? Because you still have all that to fill. Now what's going to happen is we're going to have to wait for this to go all the way up and inside. I think this will look kind of neat. And I could cover this if I wanted to, but I kind of like the idea of the pipes on the outside of the building. I like the look of that. All right. So that's 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I don't think you want to see me building this in true scope and fashion. It's going to take me, with my OCD, a while to do this. Oh, another thing I don't think we mentioned at the last one. You can go into organization and you can actually put in ceiling light. The cool thing about the ceiling lights is not that they need power, duh, but you can go from one to another, to another, to another, to another. And you can light up an entire area if you choose. They even have a light switch that you can actually turn everything on. There. Oh, maximum illumination. Thanks, Clark. That was outdoor. All right. Boys, why are you not filling up anymore? My goodness. Why are you not filling up? Doing. Did I just delete the... Oh, I didn't. Got electricity. What's going on here? Pipes can be finicky sometimes. Okay. Weird. Oh. Pipes. Pipes. Can be frustrating. But while that's doing its thing, let's go back and check and make sure. This is still working, like I said. Of course it is, right? Call that the air sip. So our last one should have water in it. First one, of course, full. Last one here. Still full. You don't have any drain. And even if you leave these let's say you knock them down like I did on this side, you're not going to see any degradation, right? Fill it 400. We actually get bigger versions of these as well. Like I said, you'll see, like, if I would have looked up at the stacks earlier, those two would have been staggering one way than the other. Very entertaining stuff. So now our trick is going to be how to get the hole over there. Do we want to come in from the bottom? Man, I got to clean out some of that, don't I? Do we want to come in from the bottom? Or do we want to build towers to go up and in? You know, that might actually look neat. Because there's kind of this center road. Two are there, two are here. What I can do is build up a massive structure on this side, a structure on this side, and then build a tunnel both ways in, and then head toward center of the plant, and then I can branch it off. Of course, it's going to be 4 different belts. And then once I get in there, I'm going to have to separate it just like this. But instead of it being just a 2 to 2 twos that are separate, or sorry, a single that's split in 2, and then from there it's split into 3s. Remember, we didn't pump this sucker up. This is only doing 1 of the 6. It's 120. So 120 times 3. Oh. Wait, why the hell did I... That's a waste. Why was I doing that? 6 times 15. Yeah, I only need 90. Oh, it's because I went through here and upgraded these to minor Mark IIs. I threw down minor Mark IIs everywhere. That's why. Okay. I'll say there's only 90 is all I need. That's why it's staggering and stopping. So anyways. So we have 270. And now you need to split that down. Now we already know we're going to have 3 banks per line of 6. right? Well, that's easy to split into 3, right? And then we're standing on exactly what we're going to do next. We're going to have a single that, like the one below us, which is going to be split in 2. And then those 2 guys are going to split that now into 3, which should give us 15, which is what each coal generator needs. So a 3, and each leg of that 3 gets a 2, and then each leg of that gets another splitter that is split into 3. What does that actually look like? Well, now you see why I built this platform over here. So the tricky part here is we have to be a little compacted. Okay. So the first split isn't bad. Always go there. So the first split isn't bad. We're going to pretend that it's coming in from this way. Okay. So the first split comes in, and that's 270 in, and he's going to be apologies. So that's not good enough because he's too far out. Well, then again, they do have to be split in 2, right? So 270, first time it's split into 3s, then it's split into 2s. So this could be split this way, that way. That's 2, right? And then we can split that way. Conveyor's too steep. Sure it is, buddy. Really? Is that what we're just clowning me today? See, whenever you try and build compacted, how complicated this can get really fast, because now I need 3 splitters to split 3 different ways. And that's going to be extremely ugly, to say the least. So if we come in from the bottom, which we can do, we can use floor ceilings. What I'm more inclined to do is come in via the top and work that direction instead. And then we can work on pulling down. Should be full now. Yep. And then we can work on pulling down coal into that. Now, a little trick on how to do the coal. No, not like that. Or I should say the lifters. Lifters can be annoying. Very annoying. It took me a little while before I realized this and was like, oh my God, I haven't been doing that this whole time. So the way I was doing lifters is this way. I would say, okay, maybe there. So that's on the line. And then I would try and eyeball it up there. Which in this case isn't too bad. Hit the dink. Perfect. But then I realized, all I had to do is that. Every single time. Just clip the hell out of it. Clippy, clippy. Then I can go upstairs. See where it actually comes through. And build over the top of it. Now, is that perfect? Of course not. And we can't handle that, can we? You know, I can't. Actually, I did that wrong, didn't I? Oh my god. I put it back too far. It needs to be up because the front of this thing is here. So instead of being it perfect, that it needs to be fronted like that. Right? But even more? Did they change that? Oh, it's because... Okay. I see why. So you see this side has a ribbed entrance exit. This side doesn't because it connected directly to it. But whenever I just slap them down, well, not that complicated. You could still do the same thing like I was saying. Especially once you do it once successfully, then you just have to go up and build them the way you know they need to be built. Okay, it's on this center line here. Just like that. That. So like I said, my advice is definitely to let your water fill up, let all of your devices fill up, and don't give this power wires on the back of the building till get lucky on that. Nope. Not lucky at all. Don't give them power wires on the back, and they will not start producing and using power, electricity, anything. So you don't have to worry about it. They'll fill up with water, they'll fill up with coal, and everything else. So I think that's what I'll end up doing now is working on, by the way, if you sprint, you can actually, you don't have to jump on these. I think that's what I'll end up doing now is building a raised segment that goes back into here. Maybe from up high. Just have the pipe go that direction. And then we can bring everything over on raised platforms. It'll be a little arbitrary, a little crazy, but still. Now you see the problems with building it like this. What I'm going to do next episode, actually, I think is unlock the blueprint designer, and we'll design something like this because I want it to be the same every single time. And right now this is far too compacted. And the reason why is because if I try and put this guy out here and to separate, he has to be separated by 3s. Well, he's going to run into this one, right? So then I'd have to sling that around, and no, just wouldn't look pretty. And of course, different ways to do everything. Oh my goodness. So, like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a labor of love. I could probably build this whole thing in 2 hours if I wasn't stopping to talk. The hard part is the design. Once you get your first bank of 6 built and you left yourself room, well, then it's not so bad. And I think that's what I'd like to do is actually have everything up here. Hell, maybe I'll even hide the water towers. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I'll have little cutouts for them. each little section and have the roof go up. I think I actually under architect. Nope. I guess I didn't grab the roofs or anything yet. So you also have a light control panel, so you can actually connect lights to this, and you can turn your lights on and turn your lights off, living your best dad life. Joy. All right. Well, let me get working on this a little bit, and I'll try and upload something for y'all as soon as possible. That way y'all can see it all. Or would y'all rather watch me do all this arduousness? Like I said, it's literally going to be the same thing as duplicate this section here. I'll redo the power wiring because, yeah, that's not up to my love language. And then we'll have to do it 2 more times. Now, why didn't I put this guy over here? Because then further down on the next 2 sections, it would have had to have gone like this because this inlet isn't here. Let me using fancy words. So I went ahead and did it this way. And this underground area down here doesn't need to be here as well. I can take all that out when I'm done. It's just a matter of getting it sorted. All right, well, thanks for joining me. If you like what I did, give me a thumbs up. Please comment. Lets me know I'm not just talking to myself out here. I appreciate all your advice and help. Y'all have a great day.